Alright, so before I move on to how to achieve a realistic portrait drawing, I want you to pick up your pencils and your paper and start drawing, because at the end of this video we are going to understand how to achieve a realistic pencil drawing and also some tips and tricks that I use when I'm drawing a portrait. So if you are new to this channel, I want you to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already a subscriber, I really appreciate you for coming back to this channel. So before I start any portrait drawing, I try to study my reference photo or the picture that I'm about to draw, and the reason why I do this because I try to picture how the end result will be or how the final work will look like. Some of you might think that this has nothing to do with a realistic portrait, but I urge you that it gives you an insight of how the final work will look like. So once you try to picture that final result, it helps you to try to achieve it. Because me, when I'm drawing, the way I picture my reference photo, if I don't get that kind of result, I'm not going to stop. So this is actually a part of the process that I go through, and it has really helped me a lot as a creative person. So this is not just a mere thing, it's really important. So this is one of the processes that I go through. So after going through this kind of process, the next thing I will do is, how am I going to get an accurate sketch? Because a realistic portrait drawing actually starts from getting an accurate sketch from your reference photo. So I believe there are different ways to get an accurate sketch. Some people are really good with the freehand drawing, and there is also the grid method drawing and also tracing. The most important thing is to get an accurate sketch of the image that you want to draw. And the way I go about this is that I usually use the grid method drawing, which I've already done a tutorial on that. So I'm going to leave a link down below so that you guys can watch how to use the grid method to achieve an accurate drawing. So once the sketching is done, the next part is the shading part, which I believe is the most challenging part for beginner artists. I totally agree with this one, but I want you to put up your mind to it that you can do it, because no one started perfect. About it. So what I mostly do is that I place a white paper on the drawing so that my hand doesn't mistakenly smash the charcoal pencil into areas that I don't want. So once I've been able to lay down the darker areas around the eyes, I use the brush tool to bring in the shadows, because naturally the eyes doesn't come totally white, right? There are shadows around the eyes, so I use the brush tool and gently blend into the eyes. And usually this is the point where the realism comes in, trying to differentiate between the values or trying to create the correct values. Okay, so in areas where they are darker, make them darker. Areas where there are midtones, try to create the correct midtones. And the same applies for the highlights. This is the whole or the fundamental or the core parts of trying to create a realistic drawing. It's all about values. It's all about values. So holding the pencil this way actually gives me more control over how I want to shade, and also helps me to achieve the result that I want. And most people think that to achieve a realistic portrait drawing, you need to incorporate a lot more details. You need to bring in the skin textures, the pores, and all the skin details that we see on the human face. But realistically, that shouldn't be the case. Okay, trying to achieve a realistic drawing happens to be that you need to get the right values at the right areas. Okay, trying to picture how the correct values will be. So I try to go over this process until I get the results that I want. Sometimes to withdraw in color, mostly for me, I usually convert the color image into a black and white. Okay, so this is also very key. I have actually done a video on that. Okay, converting colored image into black and white, because when you are drawing in pencil, the end result is going to be in black and white. So when you do that, it gives you an insight of how to place in your values correctly. Okay, that is the whole idea about trying to draw a realistic drawing. I believe watching this particular